Hello and welcome to what I am calling OMAD, one mod a day. It's a sped up Space Engineers playthrough where I'm just having fun, just playing the game, and allow myself to add one mod a day to showcase that mod and to show why I like it and why I picked it. And if you have mods that you feel you can't live without, then let me know in the comments and I'll look into it. To start off, this is the first mod I picked because I personally hate the sound of Space Engineers grinding, so I went with Sneaky Sounds by, I actually don't know who this is by. I'll leave a link in the info of the video, so you can have a look if you want it, if you like it. The music, by the way, is Kinetic from Revo, which I picked as my first download selections from Uppbeat, which is a platform where you can download songs. I think you can download 2 or 3 songs a week for free, and as long as you leave the info of the song in your information of the video, then it's absolutely free and they get their advertising as well. So I strongly suggest for people who are looking for good music to look at Uppbeat and download your songs from there. Now, the beginning of every Space Engineers playthrough is kind of the same, and I tried to mix it up a tiny bit this time. It had its flaws, but it's, I think, an interesting thing to do is to immediately build your new ship, your flyer or your rover, against the battery on the side of your drop pod, which means that if you grind away the rest of the ship, if you do it the right way, the notice of your emergency drop pod that gets deleted, yada yada, will be removed with the rest of the ship. At this point that I'm watching the video, I can't remember if I did it correctly, but it is something you can try, and I have seen it work on servers. I've made it work on servers, but I think it didn't work in this instance, and I don't really know why. So if you know what I did wrong, again, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Alright, with the medium cargo container completed, I can empty out everything else and pack everything into that container. I finished up the H2O2 generator there, and yeah, that's basically the first part of it done. I decided to go for a rover on this project, though it is a low gravity planet or moon, which does have its problems. I personally like to go for a flyer on low gravity planets because the cost makes it more viable, while on heavier gravity planets I prefer to go for the rover to have it stick to the ground more. And I think that anyone who played with the rover on the moon on the base setting and ramped up the speed can agree with me there, that it's very easy to get enough momentum and just fly off the face of the moon or planet. So with that done, it's time to replenish the power of my suit, which is always a moment I'm waiting for before I start moving the survival kit, but in this instance, because of the awkward landing, I don't have the room for it, so I'm placing a piston and a magnetic plate, I think that's what they're called, and try to lift the ship up that way. This was, of course, the point where I found out that with the basic build you don't get enough small tubes to make that work, so I kinda had to be creative about it. I started with grinding off the front wheel that I just placed. Still not enough, small tubes. So yeah, decided to take a risk and grind off the survival kit first, take down the rest of the pod, and yeah, work my way from there. And with the lander ground off and the last of the blocks, the ship lands nice and horizontal on the ground, and the survival kit can be placed, which means that we once again have power, oxygen, and all that good stuff that an engineer needs. The music that you're hearing right now, by the way, is Delay, also from Revo, from Upbeat. At this point I decided to clean up my ship a tiny bit, and yeah, it's kind of an everyman's choice what to do from this point. You can grind down the rest of the pod, which I did, but you won't get enough components to actually finish this base type of ship, so it's down to digging. Here we go. And if we start to dig, we might as well set up our first little base with a basic refiner, a basic assembler, a couple of solar panels, all of that. Now, I'm not personally a fan of the digging system in Space Engineers. It's not what I see being a space engineer is all about. I am a space engineer and not a miner. If I wanted to be a miner, I'd play Minecraft. Now, I did have a plan when I did it this way. Normally I place the basic assembler right behind the basic refiner. I was hoping to eventually upgrade to the advanced assembler, but yeah, well, things kind of turned out a different way, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And so, here we go, with the diggy hole, a long and tedious process of grinding down stone, placing them in the survival kit, and making stuff. It's not my favorite part of Space Engineers. I'm more of a scrap mechanic myself, looking for parts and putting them together to make something serviceable. But oh well, this is how the game was designed, so I guess this is how we have to play it. Basic refinery done, we can move on to more important stuff to see if we can make the entire thing work. Next up is, of course, solar panels, not really sure if I directly move to that or first try to build the basic assembler. I think I was more worried about the ship running out of power that I started to build the solar panels on the ship itself, but then forgot to actually make them, which was a good thing in the end, but well, as I said, we'll get there. Now, usually when I play this on a server in this build, I immediately go for a drill, possibly on a hinge at the front end of the ship, so I don't have to drill everything by hand, but apparently that is not what I was going for this time. But with the basic assembler now done, we have the foundation of a base, and the next step is solar panels. With the first solar panel done, you will then find that one solar panel can run the small basic assembler, but it cannot run the basic refinery, and it won't run them together. And so you'll need a second solar panel, and on it goes. But the good thing is that with a basic assembler we now have some small tubes, which means that we can fix that piston, which means that we can fix the wheels, hopefully. And with the connection tube done between the basic refinery and basic assembler, we have another piece of the puzzle. Of course, that's the space where the better assembler will fit. But then this happened. So yeah. Apparently what I had created was a Clang engine, because I welded the magnetic plate to the side of my ship instead of onto the piston. And when you create a Clang engine, the fun things happen. So at this point I didn't realize yet that the ship was missing something. Yep, there it is. The battery had exploded, which was the beautiful explosion that we saw during the Clang. And yeah, then what? Nothing is powered, nothing works. Piston won't run. Survival kit won't run. At least I could put in some wheels, but that didn't really help much. Especially if you don't know how to place the wheels upright. Nope. There you go. Yeah, in the end I figured that I could build a big battery, but that would cost me 20 battery components, and those I had to build. For that I had to mine. Mining costs energy, and I couldn't get my energy back. So what do you do? I, in the end, decided that I might just go sit in a corner and wait out the long night that was ahead of me. So that's the end of day one. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff, you know what to do. I barely have to say it these days. And if this is something you like, if you like my commentary, then let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do to continue the story. This is That Old Dutch Guy, and see you next time.